7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother. What we do here is go back.
Hey everyone, hope you can hear me. Sorry, a little bit of a rush setup on my end, kind of getting everything situated here. This is Steven Jensen, along with Jessi Davin in audio form right below me. Yeah, hope you guys are doing good. We're going to be talking a lot about AEW and especially the debut of Malakai Black, because that is something a lot of people are interested in, including myself. Before we get started, how you doing, Jessi?
Doing good. Can't seem to stay freaking not sick, so still trying to get better. But if my voice goes out halfway through, I'll do my best to bring it back. But we're hanging in there. My neighbor just had her baby, so I'm really excited. She had her baby yesterday.
Oh, congratulations to her.
Yeah, little boy. I won't say her name because duh. But we're super excited for that. We got hit by a tropical storm, but we're all good. No damage. So I've been dealing with sickness, tropical storms, new babies, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, good deal.
How are you?
I'm doing good. As we were talking before the show, and by the way, I'm in a different chair today than normal. I'm sitting in a dinner chair because my computer chair kind of broke on me. I think it's fixable, but it's a good like foot. I'm sitting up so high, I'm basically like a bar stool, and the bottom of it, I don't have like the foot rests on, So I'm using like my normal computer chair is like a foot and like arm and shoulder. It's actually kind of a nice little way to rest my arms up here like this, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I can't remember what we were talking. Oh yeah, before we went live, I was telling you that I was up like pretty much all night last night watching indie wrestling. So it was a great night to be a wrestling fan. I didn't watch SmackDown, but I did watch like 6 wrestling shows last night, and it was awesome. So I'm still buzzing from that. I literally, like, I was so vivid, like the dreams I was having last night. They were dreams I normally don't. It was like deathmatch dreams. It was wild. Like,
whoa, that's crazy.
oh yeah, and then I got in a deathmatch somehow, like in my dreams. Like I was feeling like I was feeling myself pulling barbed wire out of my forehead while I was sleeping. That's how much deathmatch wrestling I watched last night. But yeah, I mean, good. It was a great night, and I'm a little bit tired, but I'm kicking into gear, and we got UFC 264 tonight over on the Fightful YouTube channel. If you want to join me, Jeremy Lambert, and I think Sean Ross Sapp will be joining us. We got Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 3 tonight, which is huge, and we'll also be live for Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Gilbert Burns as well for the co-main event. So if you're a fan of mixed martial arts, join us tonight on all the major outlets and platforms that Fightful does. They're streaming. We'll be on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. So good night tonight. Great night yesterday, and yeah, I know you had a couple things you wanted to get off your chest before we actually got into AEW. If you wanted to start off with that.
Well, first off, thank you so much, Corey, for the super chat.
Oh, I missed it. Thank you, Corey.
Yeah, he had a super chat super early. It says, lots of love to you all. Check out onlyfans.com/Jessi the Buckeye. Thank you for that plug, Corey, and thank you for the donation. We really. Yeah. Savannah is, or oops, I shouldn't have said that. My baby is teething right now. So I'm trying to keep her happy and keep her from biting me and all that stuff. So if you hear a grunting baby, just ignore it. But thank you so much, Corey. But yeah, I had a huge problem last night with SmackDown, and that was opening the show and basically spotlighting someone who had just been arrested for DUI, who blew a .206, which is insane. That's almost what is it?
.08 is legal,
That's
right?
like 4 times the legal limit, right?
Yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, my math sucks, but it was significantly over the limit, yes.
No, it's like 3 times the legal limit. But still, that's I don't really understand the logic behind that. I feel like, and I'm gonna say I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to act like I know the entire situation, because I don't. And I want to just tread very lightly because it is a very sensitive topic. And like I said, I don't really know the extent of the situation and the background of it. However, just hearing that he was pulled over for, I believe it was running a stop sign or a red light, going 50 and a 35. He exited the vehicle because the officer smelled alcohol on his breath, and he was swaying, or he was very unstable on his feet. He blew a .205 and then I believe a .206. And I just need to tell you guys, that's not okay. I have someone close to me that I know that they did not blow a .24. They had their blood drawn at the hospital, and their blood alcohol was .24, because guess what happened? They lost control of their vehicle, ran into a tree. Their passenger was immediately killed because she was cut in half. They stopped counting his broken bones at 40. He was in the ICU for 6 months. He was in a coma for a month. While he was in a coma, his aunt died and his father died. He woke up he woke up to so much tragedy, not just from his accident, but just because of life things that happen. Like, I've seen, his blood alcohol was .24. That's not that far off, Jimmy. And I don't really think that you want to have that much blood on your hands. And I just don't understand why a company is allowing this to happen. The man clearly needs help. This is not the first time. This is not the first mistake. When you get behind the wheel of a vehicle, you are not only putting your life in danger, you're putting thousands of other people at danger that you pass by on the street. And I really do hope the best for him. But to me, to just immediately, seemingly ignore it, for what we know, it looks like they're ignoring it, and to put him back into a storyline, it just, to me, condones that behavior. And for me to have seen somebody that I know go through what they did, not that far off from his condition, really scares me. And I don't think that it's okay. And I think that it's something that needs to be addressed. And I really do wish the best for him. But this needs to stop. There needs to be zero exceptions to drinking and driving. It's not okay. Every time you do it, you're risking your life and somebody else's life, multiple people. And I'm not okay with it. And it really sucks because I do enjoy SmackDown. And while I enjoyed the storyline, I don't enjoy a storyline more than people's lives and more than the safety of others. And I really think that something needs to be done. So that's my little rant.
No, yeah, you're totally right. As we were talking before the stream, my kind of thing with it was like, do I condone someone who's made that mistake once? No, like I think drinking and driving is one of the dumbest things you can do. It's dangerous enough just driving. Like, think about just that small margin between your lane and the lane next to you, and just how easy it is, even when you're not drunk or texting or any of those things that could screw up your driving. How easy it is just to go off, just to grab the handle wrong, and then you're crashing headfirst right into the person coming the other direction. I mean, the margin is so small, and that's just driving around in everyday life. Like, and that risk is out there. So I think when you're out there, texting and driving or drinking and driving and all these things that can like really screw up your focus and concentration on the road, I obviously don't think any of it's good. Like, I don't want it done. I think it's terrible. Like, when I see people, even, I know we're talking about DUIs at the moment, but even when I see people like texting with like their, like, I look over at them, and if like their window's down or something, I mean, literally honking, it's really screwed up. I never honk at them because I feel like they'll hear that and then like, like, yeah, exactly, and then they'll like wind up crashing or something. So like, I don't even honk, but a lot of the time if their window's down or something, I'll yell over to them like, put your phone. A lot of times I just yell dumbass at them, to be honest. But I was like, you something about their phone, or for a red light, I'll be like, you gotta stop. Like, this is, like, but it's one of those things too where like, okay, you make that mistake one time, let's say you go out, you drink a little too much, like, because there's also that thing that I have to be realistic about also. You go out, you have a good time, you maybe have one or two beers, and maybe you do that all the time, but like your blood alcohol level is the legal limit. You know what I mean? But you don't know. But you are buzzed driving. You are technically drunk driving. Once again, not condoning it, but I'm just saying, if that was the case and it happened one time and the dude came out and was like, look, I really screwed up here. I need to take accountability for this. I need to make sure I'm getting Ubers or taxis or whatever, and you can't do what I'm doing. Like, you go out to the public and say, like, I made this mistake. You guys have to learn from this. Like, and I will never do this again. The problem with Jimmy Uso is it keeps happening. And and once again, it's a problem to do it even once. But, like, that's the thing, is, like, there's levels to it. You know what I mean? Where, like, I go out to a bar, I drink beer all the time, but like, if I drink 2 or 3 beers, I might blow heavy, and I should not be behind a wheel. Jimmy Uso's face, when they showed that mugshot, it was like, that guy was drunk. Like, that guy was straight up drunk.
A point 206, that's all, like, it's like blackout.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and once again, I need to stress this so much. Like, I'm not making excuses for, like, anybody who goes out and, like, drinks a few and then gets in their car and they're at that limit and they think they're okay to drive. That's probably how most accidents happen, is people think they're okay to drive. But when you have a pattern like this, and then you're just on television that night or whatever, 2 days later or whatever it was, like, that's definitely concerning, because you don't, because if that's how it's handled, like, there's no incentive for him to change anything about it. Like, and I've had problems throughout the years with guys like Jeff Hardy too, because Jeff Hardy has a very similar history with stuff like that. But to be fair, a lot of the time when he's dealt with that, they've either suspended him or he's lost his job with the company, or like, he isn't on TV getting pushed right after a DUI. Like, he has, like, you won't see him for a while. And Jeff's kind of an interesting case because he has so much like personal baggage that, like, I think he's always going to be an addict to some degree. Not condoning it once again, but like, Jimmy Uso clearly has an alcohol problem. Like, Clearly. Like,
Yeah.
how could you be this famous of a person and know that there are eyes on you and there's a microscope on you and you're still out there doing it?
It's scary, and it makes me like fear for his health because it feels like it's a serious problem. And like I said, I don't want to speculate. Like I'm very sensitive about that because I don't know the entire situation. But he is a public figure, so I do feel comfortable speaking on it a little bit. It's just, it's not okay. It's just not okay. Like I said, I it made TMZ. Like it's not like it was just kind of brushed on. It was like a super top secret thing that only wrestling fans knew. It made mainstream news. Like so WWE. I just the man needs help. I feel like he's crying for help, and no one's listening. That's what I mean. Maybe they are listening. I don't know. Maybe they were closing it out kind of last night. I'm not sure, but it's really scary. And we do have some super chats. I see Kenny that bastard won. Thank you so much. He says why I'm here. I did it for Jessi.
Jessi Reigns, the tribal chief.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kenny. That means a lot. And then Corey with $5. Lots of love to you, Jessi. Always here for you. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate that, Corey. And I see our chat kind of is in agreement with us as well. That, you know, and I don't think anyone is like chastising him or like blaming, like, you know what I mean? They want him to get help. I think that's the whole point. We all want him to get help.
Right. It's just frustrating as a fan because you have like, I mean, once again, there's no way of me knowing really for sure, but like, it's one of those things we have to believe this has to do with Roman being who he is. Like, you know what I mean? Because like, I feel like most other performers in that situation would have been suspended or lost their job, especially if it's a repeat offense like that. And it's like, it just seems like every time that like Nia did something that got her a bunch of heat, nothing happened. Every time that this happens with Jimmy, nothing happens. Like, they're probably terrified to upset Roman Reigns because he's all they have. Like that, he's all that company has. So somehow I shouldn't say somehow, but I feel like his family is getting preferential treatment. Like, and that's, you know, that just is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, they need to, if that is the case, they need to literally just get that out of their brains and treat the rest of his family just like they treat everybody else, because it is unacceptable. Like, and I'm a very liberal, like, lenient guy. Like, I'm very, you know, I feel like people should be able to do whatever they want. I go as far as to say this. I don't even have a problem with places like, I think it's like Portland and stuff, that have pretty much decriminalized every type of drug. Like, I don't even care. Like, if you want to go off and you want to do heroin and ruin your own life, by all means, as long as you're not ruining anyone else's life. I really don't care what people do with their own lives. But when you're doing the kind of stuff that he's doing, and like you mentioned earlier, and you're putting literally yourself and everybody else on that road at risk, and you're doing it over and over again, not only is it a problem, it's an even bigger problem when you're literally right back on television in the main storyline of the show like nothing had happened.
I know, and obviously I want to preface by like all the, you know, obviously a DUI and putting people's lives at risk is much more of a bigger story than a storyline. So I don't want to like minimize what a DUI is and how serious it is, but it's like, man, if you, I just, it doesn't make sense to me. If you're willing to keep a storyline going after someone has basically almost killed himself and other people, put lives at risk, broken a law, like that's a felony. You know,
Yeah.
I believe at that point, your blood alcohol level that high, that's a felony. You know, it's something that serious to just kind of brush on the rug for the sake of television. It seems that's what it looks like to me.
Well, and it's like they know that the fans know this too. That's what's confusing. Also, is like
And that's fair to Jimmy, because the fans know that, and they know that the fans are going to give them, you know, shit
Right.
for it. Jimmy's going to get shit for it. He's already going through a lot. I mean, he deserves to kind of get shit for making that mistake, but the man clearly needs help. It's like publicly shaming him. What it looks like to me. That's not going to help.
Sure.
Like, get the man some help. Like, take whatever dignity he has left and let him get better. Like, for real. We're all rooting for him. His comeback would be amazing to live a sober life. You can do it. He can do it. I know plenty of people that live a sober life. The person I know They had never broken the law once. They had never gotten a speeding ticket. They'd never gotten a parking ticket when this happened. And like, but I mean, he's sober now. He's been sober for 6 years. Like, I mean, and he served his time, but he has to live with that every day. And I don't know, man. I just want to tell Jimmy, I believe in you, and I believe that you can live a sober life. Not that he's going to watch this, but I do believe in Jimmy, and I do believe that he has the power to live a healthy and sober life and defeat these demons that he's fighting. You know, he's
Yeah.
strong. He's strong enough. He can do it.
And he has a lot of resources, which does help. Like, there's a lot of people that like get in these kind of positions and they're like dirt poor, and it's like stuff they feel like they can't dig themselves out of. Like, he has great people around him. He has financially, I mean, unless he's blown all his money, which I just highly doubt. Like, he has, my point with that is like, I feel like for him it should be something where like it's not going to be easy if he has a real problem, but like, man, like you can go out and like do anything you want without going and getting drunk. Like, you have the opportunity, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have the money to go, like, go get your mind off of it. Like, go have fun, go on a vacation with your family, go on, whatever, what that doesn't involve alcohol, like, go to a top level rehab spot, like one of those like really nice like resort rehab places, and like get yourself better. Like, you have the resources to fight this. I Yeah, it's tough because like Corey said in the chat, and he's right about that. He said, they helped William Regal get better. They've helped a lot of people get better. One of the things about the WWE, I'll always give them credit for. I might not be a fan of their current product, but like, I do really applaud them for their policy about anyone who's ever worked for them. Doesn't matter if it's been in the last 30 years. Doesn't matter if it was a week ago. They will cover the rehab and any kind of expenses to get any of their former talent or current talent help. Like, they spent, I can't remember what the number was, but they said they've spent more money on Scott Hall than like the next person times like 4 or something. Like, they've put like, it's like 6 figures probably worth of help into Scott Hall alone. Like, they're willing to help people. Like, I mean, and you could also say what you will about the pro wrestling business maybe driving people to some of these issues, but at the end of the day, the WWE doesn't really have to even help anyone who doesn't work for them anymore, and they do. They help a lot of people, lot of people.
Which is great. I really do think that that's great. But I don't know, man.
Well, they shouldn't be putting, but it is strange with Jimmy. It really is, because like he's right there on television as the problem's happening.
It's like it's almost insulting to him. It's like, what, you don't believe in him to get better? Like, is he a lost cause to you? That's what it feels like to me. I mean, I can't speak for Jimmy, and I can't speak for anyone else but myself. But for me, from my perspective, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Don't you value this guy's life? Don't you value the lives of other people on the road with this guy? Like, come on.
100%. 100%, because it isn't even just him. Like, there's probably plenty of scenarios with like him, his brother, Naomi, maybe Roman. I mean, there's like any of their friends in the company. I mean, yeah, you're right about it, because I didn't even really consider that part of it, which is like totally something worth thinking about. Like, it isn't just him getting behind the wheel; it could be him behind the wheel with a car full of people, and then something happens to everybody. I mean, like, it's not cool. Like, it's nothing funny about it. Like, it's one of those things. Had this happened and he wasn't on television, I probably wouldn't even talked about it today, because it would have been like, you know what, that's his business. He needs to go get help. But it's something we do need to talk about, because it's like the whole wrestling world knows about it, but he's still right there, right in the middle of the biggest storyline on the show.
Yeah, I know. Jesus, you okay? Sorry. Yeah, I know. I really do like to close it out. I wish him the best, and I really hope that he gets the help that he desperately needs.
Same. We're pulling for you, Jimmy. Like Jessi said, we know you'll never watch this, but like, this wasn't something of us just like sitting here to roast Jimmy Uso. It's actually the exact opposite. It's, hey, people care about you. People care about other people as well, and like, it's just it is a strange look for the WWE to do that. It just does, for anyone involved. Like, it's just a strange look. And and we want him to get better. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully he does. I mean, I have faith. Not that I'm a very religious person, but I have faith that he'll, the good thing is there is a lot of wrestlers who turn it around. A lot of them don't, but a lot of them do. Like more than we realize, I think, that like really that do get it together. And I'm just hoping he's one of them. I really do. He's got a lot of talent. A lot of people love him. He is a part of one of the most important wrestling families on earth. Like,
yeah.
We want the best. We want the best for him and everybody involved. And we want the best for the strangers that could possibly be affected by those kind of actions. Like, I think we're being totally reasonable about our feelings about this. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's that. I'm glad Jessi wanted to bring that up today, because that is something that we definitely needed to talk about, especially for people in the chat or people that might hear this later on in like the audio form or on YouTube later. Like, if you have any kind of problems like that, just know like this is how we feel about it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't think this is cool. We don't think drinking driving is cool.
I'm not going to chastise you. I'm not going to think ill of you, especially if you get help. One of the strongest, most courageous things you can do is admit you have a problem and then to get help for it and to defeat it.
And you'll be surprised how often people like really have your back. Like, you don't even realize it until you say something, and then it's like, oh my god, I have this entire support system around me that I didn't even know. Like, I didn't need these drugs to begin with. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
So yeah. And thank you once again, Corey, for the super chats, and Kenny the Bastard for the super chat. That is very much appreciated. I didn't realize Corey hit us with a 25 bomb before he even started. Yeah. I just now pulled up the Streamlabs so I could see it all, but thank y'all so much. Now, on a much happier and brighter note, we have... Let me see if I can find the actual results. There we go. We had AEW Dynamite on Wednesday.
Every time that picture of the Young Bucks comes up, I think it's Guy Fieri.
What? Oh, what? For Nick?
Yeah.
With his hair. Have I showed you this on stream? This guy?
Oh my God! Funko Pop.
Guy Fieri holding a hamburger.
God. Boom. Get some money.
Yes. It's funny because like he made it onto my desk. I have those random people on my desk.
The legend.
He is a legend. He lives amongst Kirby Puckett, Ken Griffey Jr., and Cody Rhodes on my desk here.
Wow, that's some mighty company right there.
This is just for any collectors out there, just because a lot of people know like I'm a big collector. This is probably my favorite Cody figure. It's the old. When he's got the mask and the brown bag. I love that figure. I love his AEW figures too, but that one is especially cool to me. So Dynamite. I thought this. We'll talk a little bit about the show. We were planning on going live for about an hour or so, y'all. So as always, this isn't, if you want to support the show, by all means, super chats you can do right through YouTube. Donation link is in the description below. If you want your comment read, if you have any predictions for any, like if the UFC show tonight, or you have any predictions for upcoming shows, or anything you want to talk about in the world of wrestling, or even independent wrestling. I watched like 6 indie shows last night, so if you want to guarantee that your voice gets heard and we read that out, just make sure you're sending a super chat or donation, and it'll also be heard on the audio version of this show, which I upload the following day on all the major platforms for Fight Talk. So. That being said, this episode of Dynamite ruled. Like,
it was so fun
with fans back, and I mean, and we gotta just jump right into it because this is what people are gonna want to hear about. And I've been waiting to talk to you about this all week.
Yeah.
All right, so Tommy End, Aleister Black, Malakai Black, whatever you want to call him, he made his debut. The place went nuts. He was still rocking like the little eye gimmick from
Continuity,
which is like something we hardly ever see. And one thing I want to just say before I throw it over to you, because I want to hear all your thoughts about his debut. One of the things that I think is interesting about it is Excalibur on commentary, like they reference him as Tommy End multiple times. They're like, this is Tommy End, but like he looks different. Something's up with him. It's Tommy, but like, and Excalibur was like, oh, this is Malakai Black. And what that leads me to believe is he's gonna play a split personality, like similar to not like the Fiend, but in theory similar to the Fiend. Where I think he is gonna be Tommy End part of the time, and it'll be Malakai Black part of the time. Is how I think it's gonna wind up working out, which I think could be really cool. So what do you think about all this and the actual debut? After 30 days, WWE didn't realize that they didn't have him under a 90-day non-compete, and he got out of his 30-day.
That's
so
beautiful. It's like just hilarious. But I will say, to WWE's credit, they have been allowing people out of their 90-day non-compete clause. I do know that Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp have been reporting that, so we're not gonna like say they wouldn't have done it, but it is really hilarious that they just had a big oopsie like that, like a big oopsie doodles. And so that's really funny. But here's what happened. So I thought that it was going to happen right after the Cody Rhodes match because the lights went out. You know, it faded to black in the middle of the match.
yes.
And I didn't realize that there was going to be another Cody segment. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have gone to go wash my face.
Oh.
And I just the baby had fallen asleep. I had given the baby to my husband. We're watching Dynamite. I'm like, I'm gonna go wash my face really quick and like get my food ready because I literally have until like 9 o'clock at night to do like literally anything for myself. All of a sudden, you can hear him like whispering, screaming, Jessica, Jessica, and I like run out and I kind of knew because Fightful Select, if you remember Fightful Select, there had been some speculation released that day in the emails. And if you had been watching Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter, he was like, I'm like 5% sure that I'm like 99% sure about something.
Yes, he was like, I don't want to put speculation out there, but you'll probably want to hear about this speculation.
Props to Fightful Select. I really do highly recommend that service. Yes, because not only is it cool for scoopsies, but Steven Jensen does the Weekender over there, so it's really a highly recommend. So I highly recommended service. So then I immediately knew what it was. So I ran out here and I saw him right before he black masked Cody Rhodes, and it was freaking awesome. And so I didn't get to hear. I had to go back and see the initial reaction. Obviously, the crowd just went absolutely wild. It was a great surprise for the first real legit show back on the road. I thought it was fantastic. Like you said, I really do enjoy the black guy. I did enjoy commentary, but yeah. Was it JR who was like, Tommy End or whatever his name's gonna be?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he actually said, or whatever his name's gonna be.
Which, I appreciate that.
I mean, it's better than him saying WWE Dynamite last week.
Yeah, that was so funny. But anyways, and I love how people that like hate AEW think that that's gonna be offensive. It's like, ow! Oh my, I'm getting hit.
She's hardcore. She's hardcore.
She's deathmatch baby. Ah! Oh my god. Okay. I'm being. Oh my god. Okay. Anyways, I'm guarding myself. But yeah, it was really really awesome. I really enjoyed it, and I did see that he liked a tweet that said a lot. It was like, and I'm paraphrasing the tweet. It was like a lot of people are wondering if it's Tommy End or Malakai Black. It was like Malakai Black is the character, Tommy End is the vessel, or something like that. So he liked that tweet because I was going through his likes for some reason. I don't know why. It was probably the night that I got no sleep and I was just not doing anything. I was looking way too much into everything. So yeah. So I'm really really excited. This has bringing in Tommy End to me is almost. It's to the level, not quite at the level, but it's to the level of like a Daniel Bryan on the dream matchmaker ability. Like I was thinking like Hangman Page and Tommy End. Obviously Andrade and him are going to have some fun ones. Him and Cody will have some good ones. I really hope that Tommy End goes, or Malakai Black goes over. There's just so many fun matches that could happen. There's, him and Kenny obviously would be fun. it's just him and Miro, him and I don't even know. Just like literally just throw a name, like just throw a dart at some names on a board and it'll be a dream match. And I'm really, really excited. The thing I love about AEW is that I feel like I'm never I'm never like excited and then instantly get worried about how they're going to be booked like I do in WWE.
Right.
Like kind of like with the call-ups last night with Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart. You know, I was excited and I was like, "Oh no." I mean, they're a little bit more safe in the women's division because there's like no one, but it's also scary. And then they like immediately take their names away, like and just give them like one name.
Oh, is it just like
Just like
Tegan and Shotzi or something?
just, I think it's just Knox.
Oh, just Knox. Oh, they went with the last name, just Knox.
I think. I don't know. But then he was calling her Tegan Knox like the entire time. But then again, maybe he was just familiarizing himself. This baby just spit out.
I think for them, they're probably banking on the tank keeping them over. Like,
Yeah.
you know, with the fans back, that tank will probably be get a pretty big pop.
Put t-shirts in it. Put t-shirts in the tank and shoot off t-shirts. Yes.
Idea.
That is, oh my God, that's how you get them over. Make it a t-shirt gun tank. Yes. They
That
will
would be tight.
instantly get over.
I remember China used to come out with the big
Yeah.
it wasn't a t-shirt gun. It looked like a t-shirt gun, but it shot the pyro.
Yeah.
Corey just real quick said, "I wish Chris Hero would reform Death by Elbow with Tommy End. That'd be cool." The reason I'm reading that comment out is because I've been thinking a lot about Chris Hero lately because he hasn't surfaced like anywhere. He's been doing podcasting, but he hasn't wrestled since he left the WWE. And I was thinking because him and Rachel Ellering are a couple. I was thinking maybe he'd be one of the big surprises for Slammiversary next weekend.
Could be.
I'd also love to see him in AEW just for what it's worth. But I just felt like I feel like Chris Heroes should be, especially with fans coming back. I feel like we'll be seeing him again soon. So I wanted to read that one out. And yeah, I mean, the possibilities are really endless for Malakai Black in AEW. Like, and it's so perfectly set up too, where like if Sting and Darby need more help against like a big stable, he's like the perfect guy to be in that group with them. Like,
Who?
With you can do Malakai Black, Darby, and Sting.
Ooh, spicy.
Like
yeah.
just like those dark, and you could even throw like someone like Thunder Rosa in there, has like the similar paint and stuff. If they wanted to do like a group like of like Sting, like a Sting managed group, kind of like FTR or not FTR, the Team Taz. If they wanted more people in that. Now another thing that I'll mention is, I know the internet has been pretty loud about like Cody better put over Malakai. Cody better put over Malakai. I'm pretty sure he's gonna put over Malakai. Like I'm pretty sure. Like and if he doesn't, the only reason I think he might not, but eventually will. Like if he doesn't do it in the first match, if they wind up doing a series of matches, I really do believe that like this will be the feud between the two of them that will turn Cody into a full-fledged heel at some point in the near future.
Ooh, yeah.
Because the fans are going to cheer for Malakai over Cody because he's new into the company. They've been wanting this. This is his big chance to like prove what the WWE wouldn't let him do all these years. And there's already a lot of the fan base that wants to boo Cody. So it's like
he was over. He was over in Miami though.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Black's going to be more over with them like one-on-one squaring off like that. And I think that it would even get Cody heat if he won because people. Now I don't feel like this because I'm a huge Cody guy. Like I always want Cody to win. I want him to be the best guy in the whole thing. But if Cody beat Malakai Black, he would get so much heat from the wrestling community because people think that he's like Triple H, which it isn't true. But there are a very few little parallels between like Cody right now and Triple H in the early 2000s when he was beating everyone's favorite wrestlers like Booker T and Rob Van Dam and all these guys. The difference though is like Cody is not beating Like, I'm sorry, but like, I think QT Marshall is like seriously underrated for how good he is. Like, he's
Yeah,
really, really solid.
he
Um,
really.
but like, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, if you're looking at Cody versus like Cody should beat QT Marshall. Cody should beat Anthony Ogogo. Cody should beat these people he's been beating. They're not on his level. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but Malakai Black is, and that's the difference. Is like I think Cody will put over people that are on that level that they can really do a lot with. Like right now, that's also why he put over Darby. Like because Darby was right there. Like he was the next guy up, like ready to break out, and it's like Cody put him over. And I feel like people don't really talk about that. They just talk about Cody like he just holds everyone down. Like that is not the case. He's putting over the people that should get put over. Like, do y'all really think, like the people that were mad about that, Anthony Ogogo sucked in that match against Cody.
He wasn't ready.
He was not ready. It's not his fault, but he wasn't ready. And they definitely went home early in that match. Like, that was an audible, I guarantee it, that Cody read the room and was like, yo, they are dead for this match. I'm hitting you with a vertebreaker. We're getting out of here. I'm not even going to hit you with the crossroads. Like, we just got to get out of here. So that's the difference. Malakai Black is on that level, and they can have him in the main event as a big star going for the title immediately. Anthony Ogogo might be good one day. He got a great start on his run. But it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a long term, it's gonna be a build to get to the place where Anthony Ogogo can be taken seriously as a world title contender. But Malakai Black is already a world title contender. So like those are the differences. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good point that a lot of people are failing to see. So I think that's a really good point. So you're right. The other people, it would have been nice for them to go over. It wasn't the right moment.
Because think about it. What if Ogogo wins and he doesn't get injured? Like, do you really want it? Like if that match with Cody was that bad, and like people can say what they want about Cody, but like you can't say that the guy isn't good in the ring because he is. I mean, he's very very. If you're looking at a very like what a traditional pro wrestler is, or even kind of like a WWE style wrestler, like Cody nails that every time. It's a very simple type of formula. But imagine Anthony Ogogo having to go out there with like anyone else that might not be quite as like polished as Cody. Like it's just, and the thing with Cody was that bad. Like you don't want to just like YOLO push somebody for the sake of like keeping a few internet fans happy. Like
it's not worth it.
Yeah.
We do have a super chat from Deshaun. So thank you so much, Deshaun. It says, "Hey Jessi, how are you, beautiful? So how was that episode of WWE Dynamite?" Laugh.
You troll.
We were just talking about that, Deshaun. Thank you so much. We're doing okay over here. Still sick. Been sick for a freaking month. But we're trying to get better, and yeah, we really enjoyed it. That's what we're talking about right now. So you're just in time. So thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Deshaun. Very much appreciated. And thank you for coming into the show. And we were just talking about the WWE Dynamite thing. I feel bad for JR. I know what I mean. Like I'm not one of those. I did tweet about it because I thought it was funny. Yeah. It was that simple. I wasn't like fire this man. It was just like, I mean, it's like. No, to be honest, it wasn't even so much about JR that I thought it was funny. It was the whole, like, it's just so on par for AEW, unfortunately, where, like, they have this amazing match, this incredible video package, and then they could have just went to black. And instead, like, they had to just do that. It's like the explosion and, like, the little things where it's like,
the crash pad.
Right. It's like you had it. It was there. You nailed it. Knocked a grand slam out of the park. And then you just had to do that one little thing at the end.
I know that video package though made me emotional because I was one of like 7 people that was in the crowd for the Saturday Night Dynamite that Brody Lee won the TNT Championship. And just, I had no idea in that moment that it was going to be so monumental for numerous reasons. So, like, I was, like, emotional as hell. And then, JR. Oh man, tension breaker though, I guess.
Man.
My tears away.
Yeah. Do I think JR is the best person for AEW's commentary? I don't. But I also the guy's been saying WWE for like the last 30 years of his life or something. I mean, it's like it's an understandable mistake, but it's unfortunately a mistake you just can't make. Like those are the only 3 letters you're not supposed to say. It's like
The man's wired to say him. My God.
oh man.
You just gotta give JR a break. Like you gotta grandfather him in under like a legacy
Yeah.
option to like memeability. You know what I mean?
Yes. I mean, I think he's the best wrestling commentator in history. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
I love the guy. He's great.
he is. And
I love his Twitter. Like just now, he was like, he posted like, "I'm so excited to be eating breakfast at Mary's Bakery. This is the best breakfast ever." And it's just him. It's a picture of him. He's just stone cold faced. Like he looks miserable, but I love it. Or the time he like went to the spa and like posted a picture of his wee wee for everybody to see.
wait, with who?
He went to like a foot spa. He was getting his feet rubbed at like a nail salon or something. He was posting a picture of his feet, but his package was fully in view.
Oh, of course. Damn, JR.
He's just so hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the other thing too with JR is like, once again, do I think he's the best person for AEW's commentary? No, I don't. I think by a long run, because I think there's a lot of people that are like way more tapped in to just kind of what's going on a bit better with that company in particular. But he would be such a huge asset to keep as a talent liaison, as someone who commentates just like the big matches, kind of like Mauro Ranallo does. Sometimes where he comes in just as like the one big match. And another thing, he is perfect for those sit down interviews, like with Darby and Ethan Page.
Oh man, that was great. Talk about a dynamic. That was a fabulous interview. Ethan Page did fantastic.
Yes, yeah, I couldn't agree more. That was that sit down. See what it was, and I know they were going for this, but it was kind of similar to back in the day. He did that really famous sit down with The Rock and Steve Austin before WrestleMania 17, and I got similar vibes from that. Where like the promo, obviously this isn't on the same level of that. Like, WrestleMania 17 is arguably the most successful pay-per-view ever, and like I think the Raw rating after the night after WrestleMania 17 was something like 7 or 8 million viewers. I mean, that was when wrestling was at its absolute hottest. Yeah. But the passion was definitely there with Darby and Ethan and JR. See, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people get on this whole like, screw JR, he's bad for AEW. Like, you gotta get rid of this guy. It's like, he might not be the best for their commentary, but he can still contribute really, really, really well to the company. Like, I do not want to see JR not in AEW. I just don't want to hear. I don't want to hear him making these kind of mistakes or sounding lost. He sounds lost on commentary often, where like it's just clear he doesn't. I think he's trying his best, but there's.
He's not phoning it in by any means.
No, not at all. But
he's old, he's
old and he has. There's this
stroke, right?
What's that?
He's had strokes.
Yeah. I mean, he's been through shit. I mean, like someone mentioned that JR gets horny on
he does,
which he does. But I mean, the guy, what happened to his wife, right?
Yes. She crashed her Vespa.
Just complete out of the blue, boom. Love of your life's gone. Like I can't even imagine. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where like. I'm not sitting here going like anyone who has any kind of tragedy can like be. He's not being like over. He's not crossing lines. He's not like sending unsolicited. I don't know about that picture you were talking about, but that sounded like a complete accident. But
yeah, it's an accident.
but you know what I mean. He's not like crossing lines. Like I don't have any problem with it. I mean, shit. If I was a 60-year-old dude like him or whatever, and like. You have the internet, like you know what I mean. Like think about him when he was coming up, like as like a kid and a teenager. Now you get on Twitter and like the hottest women in the world are just posting like the sexiest pictures of themselves on Twitter. It's like, and he's just scrolling through that. And every now and then he throws a little cowboy dude emoji out there. Who cares? You know?
Who cares? He's not being gross.
No, and it would be a thing. Like, you would know if he was a creep. With the way that the wrestling community works, like, he would be hashtag whatever the phrase is for whatever, you know, movements going on at the moment. Like, he'd be in that if, like, he was an actual creep. Like, people get called out left and right at this point when they're actually worth being called out. You know what I mean?
As they should.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm just saying, like, I think JR would definitely get called out if that was the case.
Oh yeah, he's just an old man. He's doing his thing, not hurting anybody.
100%, absolute legend, best commentator in history in my opinion.
Yeah.
And y'all, I know that we're getting a lot of thumbs ups. I just noticed that. Thank you so much. If there's anyone in here right now that hasn't done that, we really appreciate the thumbs ups on the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps the algorithm a lot. It really makes it to where it gets out there to more, you know, like-minded pro wrestling fans. Helps us grow our little community here. Well, any other thoughts on the Malakai Black debut or anything else from Dynamite that you'd like to talk about before we get out of here?
Let's see, what should we talk about?
I can scroll through here too and see if there's anything that kind of catches your eye.
I don't really want to mention the incident because I don't want to give it too much attention. So.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, yeah, stupid, dumb. But
I legit
anyway.
don't even know what you're talking about.
What?
For the AEW?
Yeah, there was an incident in the ring.
I think of what you're talking
during
about.
the Jericho MJF segment.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I will say one thing about that. If anyone saw that or I'm not going to give the guy. I know why you don't want to bring it. You want to give the guy attention. I get that. That's why I'm not going to say his name or anything. But like, if there are people out there that saw what this moron did and see what he's been doing since, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, that is these people are so lucky that they are not getting it 1,000 times worse when they make those kind of moves. Like,
right.
And part of me wishes they'd keep the camera on these people so that, like, we could see the result of, like, what happens but I also don't want them getting the extra publicity of being on camera in front of millions of people.
You want them to be publicly shamed, but you don't want them to get the attention.
Right, and that's the problem with this current person you're talking about, is they're using it to try to build internet clout, and that's
are getting it, sadly.
And that's pathetic, because that's going to create copycats, and I mean, that's why I say that it should be even worse. Like, we see the few punches thrown here and there. I loved back when, I say I loved, this is the only part of it I loved, when that dude came at Bret Hart a couple years ago, and then, Cash Wheeler came around the corner. Whoosh! But yeah, no, I agree. We don't have to give that any more attention, but I'm glad you mentioned that, because I want to throw that out there. If there's anyone who listens to this that's even considering something like that, don't do it. It is so stupid. So stupid.
Dude literally did it for attention from, like, his faves. I don't want to mention their names either, and he got literally completely buried by his faves and blocked by his faves. Like, how much more of a stupid idiot can you be?
I thought that was hilarious. That was the best. Actually, that was the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah,
he tweeted at, like, these people. I will bring up the one, because this is so funny. If there was one way of getting people to turn around on Jim Cornette, that was it. You know what I mean? It's like everyone hates the dude, but like.
But Kenny made a really good point. He was like, maybe you should, like, let up on the internet gimmick a little bit, because people are clearly taking it way too seriously.
Yeah. No, I think that I agree with that too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
I just thought it was funny because also, like, Jericho and Cornette are at odds now too. They were longtime friends for decades, and now they don't like each other either. But even Jericho is like, yo, like, Jim Cornette would shove that tennis racket up your ass, bro. like
yeah.
So I think it's funny that, like, the only positive that came out of that entire situation was maybe some people that, like, we've turned on over the years for good reason well, maybe
Yeah.
they'll be seen in a little bit more positive light, and maybe they can kind of change the way that they go about things a little bit too. Because that's also got to feel kind of good. Also, if you're someone like that, where like you say a bunch of dumb stuff all the time, and rightfully you get a lot of hate for it, like rightfully so. But like then you say something that people like finally are like, you know what, that's damn right. Like, okay, now you got the opening. Like, if you want to kind of start mending fences,
Yeah.
like, but yeah, that was. And yeah, Bill's Mafia says he deserves no praise. He cultivated the environment 100%. He's a shock jock. That's all it is. It's no different than like when Howard Stern was doing his thing, trying to get people to talk about him and stuff and all that. It's the same. It's the same thing.
I think it is like a good point. And I don't want to and I think this is like a separate point. And I think that this incident does really show though the consequences of like the modern day IWC, like because especially after like being locked inside for over a year, like people are taking this shit way too seriously. There are a lot of people who clearly can't see the difference between like this is not real life and like the lines have been blurred far too much. And I think that it is, and it's really, really, really super scary. Because there are people that are not going to be able to like distinguish that, go outside, take a walk.
Right.
It's going to like marinate themselves in this environment. Like you see some of the passionate WWE fans, how blindly faithful they are and just how they skew everything, and AEW fans as well, I'm sure.
Sure.
It is something to be said that maybe people should not obsess and take this as seriously as they do. And like, I think Kenny Omega did kind of have a point, but yeah, it's interesting, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. And hopefully they hire Atlas Security, because Atlas Security, that would have never happened. Just saying.
Yeah. But is that what WWE uses?
No, well, Atlas Security, they were the ones that were I think they were WCW too, but they did security for Starcast and stuff, and they were great.
Okay.
They were nice tech. They did it for both the Starcasts I worked at and was at, and they were fantastic, and they were really good. So I just hire more security.
Yeah, for sure. Be safe. Better safe than sorry, for sure.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan thinking about doing this, just know you're gonna get your ass kicked. You're gonna probably spend some time in jail, and
don't do it, please.
It's just not worth doing. 100%.
Imagine spending money, your hard-earned money, to travel there, buy a ticket, support the company. Like,
yeah,
they literally support the company by buying a ticket. Like,
well, the reason they're so lucky that they're not getting it worse is because you have to, at least the way that I look at it, I might be wrong, I might, but this is just the way I look at it. You don't know what that person has. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, on them. So, like, if someone comes at you, and you're in a performance, and someone's essentially, for lack of a better word, attacking you, like, you're lucky you're not getting, like, really, really beat down. Like,
right.
Because I'm going into that situation assuming you have a knife or something. Like, it's not just me and you one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat.
All the way to the ring, you're willing to go all the way. You know what I mean?
Yes. Issa! XOXO from the Big Dog and I. Oh, little Roman.
Oh, we love you, Issa. Hopefully you're feeling better. I'm still sick.
Oh, I didn't know Issa was sick.
Yeah, she said she's been dealing with some crud, so.
Sorry to hear that. Love both y'all. Issa and Roman, they're the best.
Yeah, we love you so much.
Yeah, I've still got little Roman as the background of my computer here. Like, he's still, Yeah, I saw... It's so funny. It's so funny. I always talk about it whenever she comes in here, but, like, these pictures and videos of her dog. And the same with your daughters, too. It's so funny. I mean, I know it's weird to compare, like, someone's dog and someone's actual children. But but I have such a connection with these little Yorkies from having one growing up that, like, when I see these little videos of, like, Roman, like, not wanting to get out of bed and stuff, I'm just, like, it makes me so happy. Like, it's like this, it's one of the few things that, like, is guaranteed to put a smile on my face. So,
Oh.
Yeah, love it. And same with the picture that you sent of I don't know if you want me saying your name anymore. It sounded like you didn't want that out
Well,
there.
I realize that we've said it before.
Yeah, I know on here I don't really talk. I don't type about it on
Yeah, like
Twitter,
not on
but
Twitter, but on here is fine.
when you send me pictures of Savannah, it's the same thing. It's like, oh my god, this is so. It's just so sweet. You know what I mean? Like, uh,
It's the same thing. It really is the same thing, honestly. Like the love and connection you feel.
yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm definitely a big proponent of like dogs and cats is like people. Some that can be people's kids because of situations.
Yeah, well, which I agree with too. Like, I mean, like it's this might once again it might sound kind of crazy, but like I can I considered like Kirby was the name of our Yorkie. I consider him like he was a brother. When me and my brother, my actual brother Brian, talk about Kirby or like we bring him up or like, talk about it for our family or whatever. Like I literally like he was our brother. Like Kirby was us. Like and it felt like and we had to, unfortunately we had to put him down. He got old and all that stuff. But like it felt like one of my brothers is gone. You know what I mean? Like that we he was so important to our little family that like so when I see stuff like Roman who like looks so much like Kirby, it's like it's just great that they have that they have each other, you know? And Lisa's
Yeah.
so hot too. Isn't that so cool? Like Lisa's
Yeah.
like this super hot chick. She's got this really cute little dog. Like, oh, it's the perfect package.
Oh.
Yeah. my my brother who's not quite as like sappy as I am about it. He's always like because I'll show him pictures and he'll always be like, "Shut up about the dog. Like, why aren't you trying to get with that chick? Like, what are you doing? Talking about the dog all the time." uh, so it's so
Yeah,
funny.
we love Issa and Roman.
I love yeah, both y'all. Both y'all are great. And you know what else is great? The
What?
announcement of John Moxley versus the Machine Gun Carl Anderson for next week on Dynamite. That's an awesome matchup, and it's gonna show a lot of people that might not know. Carl Anderson is like, I've honestly always thought this. I think Carl Anderson's a way better singles wrestler than he is with the Good Brothers.
Hmm.
So, what do you think about this matchup? I'm pretty pumped for it.
I'm super hyped for this. I think it's gonna be great. Like I said, I really like having these U.S. Championship for New Japan matches on here. I think that it's a really great exposure for North American fans to see kind of a New Japan style match. And I think that this, like especially last time, you had a New Japan, like a very popular New Japan wrestler in there, but now you have someone who was in WWE who is facing a former world champion WWE, facing someone who was also in WWE, who's now in Impact. So it's a very familiar face on American soil. So you've got two familiar faces going after a championship in a company that I would say the casual fan is not very familiar with. And I think it's great exposure for New Japan. I love all this Forbidden Door stuff. I think it's great. I really think that this is the future of pro wrestling. All these companies kind of uniting together, not against WWE, but kind of to be the great alternative to WWE. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Give them another option and just they're like, why don't we work together to show people all of our different products on one main stage? And I think AEW is the perfect place to do that. And I think AEW is the perfect place for this match, and it's going to be great, and I'm really, really excited for it.
do you think Moxley retains, or do you think they like a big kind
Oh,
of surprise Carl Anderson actually gets the win here?
that's a good question because I mean you've got Mox who has a baby. I'm sure he's not over his modified paternity leave. I mean, I would imagine he wants to spend more time at home. However, it would be interesting because you've got Kenny Omega with the Impact titles, and I mean maybe give an Impact guy the New Japan title. So I that might be worth doing because then you've kind of got the elite with all these belts. That could be something. I feel like that could definitely happen.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction is still Moxley, but I think that they're gonna do a good job of like creating some reasonable doubt during the match that Anderson has a chance.
Heck, I've got it right now. The match ain't even started.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to that. I love that Moxley is still defending that title. And then to your point too about like the Forbidden Door and stuff, it's without saying too much, and also I know that like Sean's kind of like thrown some kind of like things out there to Twitter kind of a little bit, but like I'm telling y'all, because I've been saying it for like the last year, where I'm like I've been like strongly hinting at like I really think that like MLW and like Ring of Honor and NWA and like these other like there's like when fans are back, like this Forbidden Door thing hasn't even got started yet. Like
Yeah.
like for people that are like down on it or talking trash. Oh, we only got like Private Party came to Impact. Oh, that's it. Like big Forbidden Door. Like blah, blah. You don't think that they're saving like the really cool stuff for when there's arenas full of fans back in the seats? Like same with WWE for what it's worth. Like I do think WWE is going to come out with better stuff than they've been doing the last year because fans will be back. But I don't think it's going to be anything near what we're about to be seeing if all these other companies start doing crossovers like I'm thinking they're going to. Oh my God, things are about to be awesome.
Yeah. It's exciting times. And pro wrestling's back, nature's healing. That's how I really feel that way. And I feel like I'm really hoping that this is a boom period, not only for, AEW and all these other companies respectively, but also for WWE. Because obviously when they do better, we do better, and I feel like the IWC is a little bit happier and people aren't as mean. I really feel like hopefully there's a boom period and people get back into professional wrestling. Because it's certainly, that show last night, or not last night, that show 2 nights ago, that Dynamite, it felt so different. Like, I love Daly's Place, don't get me wrong, they've done a really good job with it. But damn, it felt so good to have like an organic, natural crowd back. It was so fantastic. It just felt different.
Awesome. Yeah, it was electric from start to finish. And also you got stuff like Hangman Page, like he is still so over, and like that's what you want to see. You know what I mean? It's like the people they've been building with no fans are over with the fans. Like that's huge.
That's when you know they've done it right.
Right, because I do have a fear that when WWE gets back rolling, a good amount of the people they've built as the baby faces, like the main baby faces of their show, aren't going to be, it's not going to be like that. And that's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it. Also, I saw someone in the chat, just really quickly, because I don't want to forget to mention it. They mentioned Ring of Honor Best in the World. That's tomorrow. If you want to watch the show, it's on Fight TV. I don't know how expensive the show is, but I want to bring it up because Fight TV, they have been hooking it up for me lately. Like, I got to show them a ton of love. Like, I'm always showing love to independentwrestling.tv because I've got, my promo code with them. But, like, Fight TV, if you're not on Fight TV, like, it's a little different, right? It's not quite, like, subscription-based with everything the same way. It's a lot of individual pay-per-views and bundles and stuff. But, like, Best in the World is going to be a damn good show. I'm really looking forward to Rush versus Bandito and Mike Bennett versus Jonathan Gresham. I think both of those matches are badass. So, and there's more than just that. So just wanted to throw that out there too. Fight TV is where you should watch Ring of Honor's Best in the World tomorrow. I'll be doing predictions on the Weekender podcast tomorrow, and then next Sunday I'll review the show. So throwing that out there. Ring of Honor, they're still flying under the radar, don't have quite the buzz most of the other companies do, but they have really, really solid in-ring wrestling and stories that make sense. And this is the last thing I'll say about it, because this applies to all wrestling and my entire philosophy on what I want as a wrestling fan. All I'm asking for, and this is why I'm so down on the WWE, all I'm asking for as a fan, all I'm asking for is storylines that make sense and good matches. That's it. Like, I don't care if it's the most predictable story ever. I don't care. I hope Hangman Page wins the title. It's the most obvious person to beat Kenny Omega. We've been saying it for a year.
Yes.
But it's just the right story that makes sense, and the match is going to be great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's predictable. And every now and then throw me a surprise. Like Malakai Black popping in or something. I mean, like, I can still be surprised, and I can still get stories that make sense that result in good matches. That's all I'm asking for. Like, and I feel like that's like the simplest ask in wrestling. Like, I'm a very easy guy to please when it comes to wrestling. It's when you throw in all the other bullshit on top of it that drives me away. So
yeah.
Anyways, just want to throw that out there.
Did you see Kenny that bastard's super chat?
It says the IWC I want the internet wrestling community. I'm assuming you were trolling Kenny, but if you weren't, thanks for the internet wrestling community, which is a thing that I've been seeing more people tweet about that lately. That's been a thing since like '95,
right?
Like this isn't a new term.
It's different because it wasn't as prominent and it wasn't as readily accessible as it is, and it was a much smaller community.
Sure.
That's just like hilarious to me. Like back in my day, that's literally the new like I walked 15 miles in the snow.
Yeah, that's true. I'm over here like I was on the AOL message boards in '95. Like we called it the internet wrestling community back then. Like, but I'm also I don't know what you call them. Boomer, I guess. I don't. We're not old enough to be boomers, are we? What are we?
Aren't we?
Millennials? I don't even know. We're definitely not Gen Z. I know that much.
No,
Zoomers,
no,
whatever
we're not. No, we're not.
But that's the thing. Like, because also people might not remember like in like the like around like 2006, 2007 and stuff. Guys like Bill and Doug, who Doug's one of my podcast partners. Guys like him literally sparked what was known as the YWC, the wrestling internet community, and that was, the YouTube wrestling community, and that was the same kind of thing. But the only reason they came up with the YWC was because the IWC was a thing for so long. So it's like, so it is funny to see people that are like just now calling it the IWC, but I also don't like have a problem with it. It's not like I like have any kind of issue. I just think it's kind of funny. It's like a joke. It's like if someone came. It's like, honestly, it'd be like if someone came up to me right now and was like, "Hey, I got a joke that you've probably never heard before. Like, you ready to laugh your ass off?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, give it to me." They're like, "Why did the chicken cross the road?"
Yeah.
To get to the other side. And I'm like, "That's the oldest joke ever. That's new to you." But anyways, I'm just glad that there's a lot of wrestling. See, that's the thing too. Back then, like you mentioned, Jessi, it wasn't nearly as accessible. You had to really, really seek out the internet wrestling community. Now it's basically just integrated into all social media. So
search a hashtag for Monday Night Raw, and you're deep in the IWC.
Kenny says they have the same initials. You can't tell me it isn't I Want Chicken.
If you dream hard enough.
Yeah. Hey, it could be to you. If you want chicken.
If you want chicken, that can be your IWC.
Or the YWC. Either way. I want chicken. You want chicken? It's
fluid, man. It don't have to be one thing or the other.
Yes.
Flow in and out, depending on your mood.
Anything else from this show that we should talk about? I think we covered most of the big stuff pretty well.
So, the main event was really good. That was fun.
Yes.
Young Bucks and Kingston and Penta. That was really, really good. Happy to see fans back. You know what I really liked? Just really quick. I liked the hard cam being on the ramp. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, it looked really good. I also feel like that takes away from like seats. And also, congrats to All Out for selling out.
Yes.
So.
Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, they're going to have to do bigger arenas eventually.
Oh, all the AEW haters.
I know.
Like, yeah.
So the tickets are cheaper. It's like, well, you know what?
It wouldn't have mattered.
Honestly, like, people who hate a company that much, whether it be AEW or WWE, it's not worth engaging with those kind of accounts. Like, seriously, it's not worth engaging because you're not going to win. They're doing it just for, like, attention and clout, and you are talking to a brick wall, essentially. Sure. Like, don't give those kind of people attention. Please. I'm begging you guys. I've learned the hard way. Trust me.
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
I have learned the hard way. Do not just ignore it. Just ignore it. Let them be sad and miserable and go, like, just let them go poo-poo in a corner. Let them be sad. Enjoy your show. Enjoy it for yourself. You don't have to make anyone else enjoy it. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. Like, that's always been a big thing for me is, like, there was even something last night while I was, like, tweeting about one of the indie shows. Like, someone said something that was, like, it was like negative towards me like during it, and I was just literally like, I just didn't respond. Like there's just no, and if he would have kept doing it, I would have just muted him. You know what I mean? It's just like I just don't. And once again, you are talking to a brick wall. Like there's no debate or no like conversation. It's just no matter what you say, the more you say, the more they're gonna hate, and the more they're gonna keep talking about it. Like me and Doug had this dude coming at us for a minute, like messaging. Not he couldn't directly message us, but he was tweeting about me and him, like about all this really weird stuff. It was like it was about how me and him like bone each other in the shower and like
my God.
Dude, this guy like something was wrong with this dude.
Lord.
But I mean, Doug's like hitting me up like, yo, like I got to put this guy in his place pretty much. We didn't really say that, but I could tell kind of he was having a hard time biting his tongue about it. And I was like, yo, like neither of us should say a word about it at all. Like, and this was months ago. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up now, because I doubt this person's even paying attention at this point. But it's like, we said nothing back. And the next thing we knew, dude's account was like, he took the account down. Like, he realized we weren't feeding the troll. And he wound up, like, just, like, deleting the account. And then was like, okay, see, I'm glad we didn't, like, go back and forth with this guy and then give him more attention. And, like, it's just, yeah, no attention. Sorry, dude. There was then the last thing before we get out of here that I just wanted to bring up, because me and you had talked about it a little bit pre-show, was WWE's announcement that they're going to be doing the Rolling Loud. And by the way, I thought the AEW main event was really, really good also. Like, I didn't want to gloss that, but like that match ruled. So, and it ruled last week too with the same teams. Like, awesome stuff. And by the way, that was the first time that a champion had actually lost in AEW in a non-title match. And it took like 2 years to do something like that, which I have no problem with. Because I saw some people that were like, the Young Bucks lost the non-title match. Now they're just like the WWE. They're 50-50 booking. And it happened one time in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's what makes it special and exciting when you see it happen, because it happens so rarely. When you're watching Raw, the champion gets beat, and then he beats the next, and then he beats that person, and then they have the third match. And like last night, I was considering, like, even though I was watching all these other shows, I saw like the SmackDown lineup on my Twitter, and I was like, Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Every time I've watched WWE in the last year, I feel like I've seen this match. Like, it's just the same thing over and over and over. But, anyways, when it comes to WWE, the Rolling Loud announcement, that's the name of the festival, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or the shows or whatever. I'll say this. Look, do I have a problem with the WWE doing that? Absolutely not. I understand what they're trying to do. They want to broaden their audience. They want to go after more casual viewers. They want to continue to integrate themselves into other big brands. I've been saying this for a while. Nick Khan, all I see in that guy is cost-cutting measures, make the company look as profitable as possible. That's his job, and to get them more crossover into mainstream properties like Rolling Loud, like, you know, if they can get into like Marvel movies or children's cartoons.
Star Wars.
What was that?
Star Wars, Sasha Banks.
Right, yeah, all that kind of stuff, right? Like, that's what I think Nick Khan is there to do, and that's what I think the actual future of the company is. The future of the company is a children's brand that crosses over with other children's brands. Because their mindset, I think, is there's always going to be new groups of kids. Whether we lose them after a certain age or not, there's always going to be more kids coming. And then those kids are going to have parents, and we're going to be selling multiple tickets to shows, and the parents are going to buy them the merchandise and blah, blah, blah. So they've basically said, we don't care about the 18 to 35 demo. Like the AEW can have that. We're going to continue to focus on children and their parents, which is fine. Totally fine.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like, you're going to go to Rolling Loud, and it's going to be this big audience of people, and, like, maybe 2 or 3% of that entire audience is going to care at all that there's wrestling happening.
They care more if they're going for the show. Come on. It's been a year. No one's been to a concert in a year. You really think they're going to care about wrestling?
Well, the people that are paying attention, most of them are just going to be like, this is fake or lame. Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's a fake. That's going to be, I mean, a bunch of people on drugs and drunk, and like they're going to be watching something they have no interest in seeing.
No idea.
Now, will a few people maybe start tuning in because of it? Maybe. And that's what I think the whole point is, right? It's like, we'll try to find some new viewers. But my thing is, like, you have an entire, you have this giant group of fans that at this point are basically, like, making a big part of, like, the AEW hardcore audience. Like, a big part of AEW's audience really is former WWE fans. Like, I'm talking about myself, basically, here. People that watch the WWE for 30 years and are just like, why am I doing this to myself still? There's all these other options. And we're all... And the reason you know it's happening is because the Raw ratings are so low that, like, those are the people leaving. They're leaving to watch AEW or they're leaving to watch mixed martial arts. That's where we're all heading.
Yeah.
You know, I have to say it 1,000 times. If you're an adult who watches the WWE, there's no problem with that. If you just have to accept you're watching a kid's show. The same way that I accept that I'm watching when I watch the Mighty Ducks or the Little Giants or any of these children's shows or movies that I love and I still love as an adult, but I go into it knowing I'm watching a children's show. That is what you're doing when you watch WWE Raw. You are watching a children's show. Now, that all being said, why wouldn't you take that energy and that focus and those resources that you're going to be using to try to find new wrestling fans at a music concert? Why wouldn't you focus on getting back fans like me who quit on you?
Spend money.
Right. We're still wrestling fans. Like it's like the WWE, they're trying to do anything they can to be anything other than a pro wrestling company.
Sports entertainment, bro.
Right, which once again, that's their prerogative and that's fine, but it's like AEW and WWE, they are not the same thing. Like WWE is an entertainment company that also has wrestling.
Yes.
AEW is a wrestling company that also has entertainment.
Yep.
It's two different things. And the saddest thing in the world is that the WWE has a talent roster that can cater to all of it. Like, they have good enough people and enough good people that there is no reason outside of horrific writing and stupid gimmicks and stories that I should stop watching Raw. Like, it's pathetic that you've lost me as a fan after 30 years. That's pathetic, WWE. Like, you have McIntyre and Lashley and Riddle and Orton and AJ, and you got these new guys like Omos. You got guys like Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Ciampa, Gargano, Karrion Kross. You got Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. I can go. What's that?
Is Daniel Bryan back?
Well, sorry, you had Daniel Bryan.
Oh, you had him.
Sorry, but the point is Cesaro, Seth Rollins. I mean, I can go on and on and on, and even the new guys. You got Blake Christian, Alex Zane, Asher Hale. Even this like Ika Manjiro guy has potential in 205 Live. Like you have such a stacked roster, and you're only catering to children. Like,
yeah.
But and you're gonna take that energy and bring it to a music festival in front of non-wrestling fans instead of just taking what you already have and just making the stories a little bit more interesting and the matches a little bit better, and not just giving me the same match every week all week. Like, it's on. I just can't. I shouldn't say I can't believe it because it isn't surprising, but it's just one of those things where it's like
shame.
It's like why wouldn't we're all right here still. We're all right here, just waiting for it to get better. But we stopped watching. Like, you got to get us back.
Oh no! There's a fart. There's a poopy.
Well, there you go. That's probably a good sign to get out of here.
Yeah, we do have a chat though from Kenny that bastard. He says WWE Rolling Loud Wiz introducing Sasha Wiz left. Ta ha ha ha! Give it up for your girl Sasha Banks. Ta ha ha! Yeah. We love it, Kenny. Love it. Love it.
Yes. Thank you, Kenny.
Kenny, you rock, my man.
In Jackson, this is a good question, and this is one that I definitely want to get to just before we get out of here. It asked about SmackDown being a kid's show, because I called Raw a kid's show. I think Raw is 100% a kid's show, right? It's rated PG. It's got a doll who attacks people and stuff. Slime and hopscotch. With SmackDown, that's definitely more adult-oriented, and it seems a little bit more like a sport. The problem with that, though, and it isn't the product itself. It's that there's a big fan base of people like me that there's better independent wrestling on Friday nights consistently that are going to take us away from watching Raw or from watching SmackDown. So And also their roster. I think SmackDown's roster is significantly better than Raw's roster as far as like overall talent. And that's also why I think they need to end the brand split. That's a whole other conversation in itself. But like for someone like me who just, I'm not going to watch SmackDown because I have all this other indie wrestling that I want to watch that I like better. But I'd watch Raw if Roman Reigns was on Raw and Cesaro and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and all these guys, like if they flip-flop the rosters, like if SmackDown's roster was on Raw on Mondays, I'd probably watch the show. Even though the writing hasn't been great, the SmackDown writing, once again, I've only been watching the pay-per-views for the last handful of months, but it seems to me like the stories and the matches that I'm getting out of the SmackDown brand are almost always better than what I'm seeing from the Raw brand.
Not to mention commentary is way better.
Oh, okay. That would make sense too. I don't even know who they have on commentary.
Pat McAfee, my man.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I love. I'm wearing one of his shirts right now. This is a Pat McAfee shirt.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I love Pat. I hate that I don't get to see him. Yeah,
I know. I mean, I'm just saying, but yeah, I think also get well soon, Bailey. The Bailey injury kind of really showed how depleted the SmackDown roster is, especially on the women's division side. So I think you're right. I think you just got to end this damn brand split. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, it is just not accomplishing what the goal is. Like, it always works a little bit at the beginning. Like when they did the first brand split and we got the SmackDown 6 out of it, like the Guerreros, Benoit, Edge, Rey Mysterio, that whole group. And then you also had that was also the era where like John Cena started and he was on SmackDown, and like you had ways for like Randy Orton got a push on Raw because like there was spots for him and stuff. Like there are benefits to the brand split, but they seem to be very, very short term. When they brought the brand split back the last time, it gave AJ Styles got a run with the WWE Championship. Dolph Ziggler got a big push again that people had wanted to see. There are Braun Strowman got a big push on Raw, which at the time was something people wanted to see. So once again, at the beginning, it worked a little bit, but we're at a point right now where we have to be honest with ourselves. Even if you're a big WWE fan, all they have is Roman. Like if we're talking actual stars, all they have is Roman. Like Drew McIntyre is probably their second biggest guy, and he's like
champion.
Well, right. I mean, you could say Lashley too, but I think that McIntyre would probably be more valuable long term than Lashley because I think that, like, I love Lashley and I think he's a great guy to be their champion, but I think that McIntyre is just going to be there longer. It's just a personal feeling of mine. Like, I'm not saying like Lashley's leaving anytime soon, but I could see McIntyre being like a main guy for them for the next like decade plus, and they've really built him big time over the last year, but. My point really is like you got Roman here, and then you got Drew and Lashley. To be fair, like right around here, and then everyone else. I mean, it's like
I feel like Bobby Lashley would be more of a name had they not freaking broken up the Hurt Business for no reason.
Yeah, I haven't seen the show since they've done that. I heard that he's coming out with like women now though instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope for his sake it works out. I mean, I am a Lashley guy. I very strongly wanted him to win the title, and I'm glad he did. But yeah, so I gotta
get going because my oldest is gonna be home soon.
Oh, there you go. Okay, let's wrap this up. Yeah, if you want to tell everyone kind of what to do, Jessi, I'll get our sponsors pulled up.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you guys. This was like a really good chat. Like I've been kind of obviously preoccupied with doing the show and taking care of a baby, but I've been keeping an eye on the chat, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Oh, also, we did have a super chat from Kenny That Bastard again. He said, WWE has the talent. They need Tribal Chief Jessi Reigns. That is hilarious. Hire me, WWE, and then just don't release me right away after doing it. I would love some WWE money. I know you guys got that bag, so I appreciate it. Thank you, Kenny. But we do love this chat. You guys are freaking great. You make great points. You guys talk with each other like freaking grown adults, and you have healthy conversations and debates, and we love you guys, and we want more people like that. So if you could please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing. It's absolutely free. You don't have to do anything and pay nothing. It really does help the channel. It gets like-minded, amazing folks like you guys in the chat, engaging with us, having a good time. It really does mean a lot to us. So yeah, if you could like subscribe if you haven't already, and if you really like what you've seen, hit that like button. It would really mean a lot to us. And yeah, and we also have some sponsors too.
Yes, I echo everything Jessi just said. Thank y'all. I mean, we have the coolest chat. Like, there's
Yeah,
like we don't always have like the biggest numbers, but like the people that we have, it's quality. I'd rather have a quality chat than like a super big chat of like toxicity. So this is
yeah,
we really appreciate y'all a lot. Anyone who sent any super chats our way, thank you so much. Anyone who just spent any of their time today watching this, thank you so much. And me and Jessi will get more consistent with this again too. Like her life, she's got a lot going on, obviously. And I've got some stuff going on as well. So it's like at some point we'll get back both of us on camera more consistent again, but thank you to everybody who's stuck around with us throughout
yes,
everything, including our sponsors like
yeah.
Music City Toys and Collectibles. They are the place to be if you like action figures, you like vintage magazines, or any kind of wrestling memorabilia, autographs, 8x10s, all that good stuff. They're nice people. They'll give you fair business. They have a retail location at 101 West Main Street in Waterton, Tennessee. That's Waterton, Waterton, Tennessee. I always say Waterton. It might be Watertown. I'm not sure. It's spelled like Watertown. Either way, that's at 101 West Main Street, Waterton, Tennessee. And they have not just wrestling stuff. They have sports stuff. They have comic book and like nerdy stuff. I mean, this is off topic, but just because I'm bringing up comic book and nerdy stuff, I found out last night of an independent wrestler called Wrestle Ranger who dresses up exclusively in Tommy Oliver Power Rangers suits. It's the best wrestling gimmick I've ever seen in my life. Like, this guy only does Turbo Red, Mighty Morphin Green, and Mighty Morphin White suits. So, like, if you're a nerd like I am, Music
That
Toys...
is incredible.
Yeah, and he's like this scuffed-looking Power Ranger. It's great. But that just reminded me of that because I like nerdy stuff, and Music City Toys and Collectibles has a lot of nerdy stuff for me at a really good, fair price. So check them out. They have sales on their Facebook page often. Check out their new website, musiccitytoys.biz, and all social media at Music City Toys. Also, shout out to independentwrestling.tv. You can check out the service using code FIGHTTALK, FIGHTTALK, all is one word with no space. Throw that in the promo code spot. And watch yourself some independent professional wrestling. That'll be on iwtv.live or independentwrestling.tv. And I'm going to scroll really fast. These are all promotions that you can find on independentwrestling.tv. I mean, I haven't even scratched the surface. It's going to take me too long to scroll. There you go. Look at all these. It's taking time to load. But these are all promotions. Some of them have hundreds of shows within each promotion. Some have just one, some have a few. But a ton of great independent wrestling. Once again, use code FIGHTTALK. Shout out to my brother Brian Jensen. He is a owner of Steel Boxing and Athletics in Atlanta, Georgia, a small boxing and fitness gym. He can help you reach your goals. If you want to learn how to throw hands, get in better shape, lose weight, compete at an amateur or pro level in MMA, boxing, or kickboxing, or if you have any kind of neurological issue, whether it be Parkinson's, MS, dystonia, really anything neurological, Brian is 100% certified to help in those cases as well. He can do everything from, teach you how to, just defend yourself if someone came at you. He can teach you how to beat someone else who's also competing. He can teach you if your nerves are going on you and you're maybe having some issues. He is specialized, and you'd be amazed how many little dexterity exercises you can do with just like your fingers and flexibility and stretching and stuff that could really help you out significantly. So hit up Brian. The best way to get in contact with him is to find him on Instagram. That's at BoxingATL, BoxingATL. And hit him up. Just let him know that we sent you his way. He'll give you a great deal, as will all of our sponsors, including, last but never least, WrestleRumble.com. The Money in the Bank Pick'em contest will be opening soon. The prizes: first place, $1,000. Second place and third place, $100 each. And then they also have a belt raffle going on for, oh my god, they got a lot of stuff. This just came out today. I updated the graphics last night for this.
Yeah,
So
they have an all-out raffle too. For all out.
So they got the Solomon Monster belt raffle. That's only $1. That's for Jason Solomon, the YouTuber and podcaster who's a big part of Wrestle Rumble. And then they've got win 2 tickets to All Out. Oh, that's right, Matt, the dude that runs Wrestle Rumble, he bought 2 extra tickets. I saw him talking about that yesterday. So for one, that's awesome. $1 entries, you might win 2 tickets to All Out. This is the best website ever. And then they also have a custom art contest.
Ooh.
Only $1 entries for this. That's pretty badass. You got the Macho, the NWO era, Macho Man Randy Savage, The Rock and Steve Austin, and The Undertaker all in one room together, tearing it up, probably enjoying some pro wrestling on the television. So, yeah, I know, Savannah. It's exciting. So WrestleRumble.com, that's where to go. Get in on the contest, get in on the raffles, and make sure to follow them on all social media at WrestleRumble. And let's pull you up on here, Jessi, so you can plug your stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta get you on here.
Follow Steven Jensen at Rightside.
Yes.
Yay, there's me and Savannah. Ah. Bro, yeah. Is it raining?
Huh? Yeah, it's raining. Yeah, I just started raining on my end.
Lucky.
But yeah, Jessi, if you want to tell them where to follow you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so obviously you can follow me on Twitter at Jessi the Buckeye. That's where I live tweet all the wrestlings and various moments in my life. Like yesterday, my husband saw Carol Baskins at his work.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, he sent me a picture, and obviously I'm not going to share it because it would A, give away where he works, and B, I don't want to get him in trouble. But yeah, it did look like her, and it's within the area, so it's not that far-fetched. So yeah, and then obviously, tweeting about my everyday life and all that stuff. Just follow me on Twitter for all sorts of fun, unexpected stuff. That's where you can mainly catch me. Definitely, if you want to DM me, don't try and go on my Instagram. Don't try and go on my Facebook. Don't try and DM me on Twitter. I'm not going to respond. I don't deal with that. Don't want to release that negative energy space. You can subscribe to my OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/JessiTheBuckeye. That's the way to see more of me. I'm super anxious and hoping to get new content out this month. So you better subscribe because you won't want to miss it. It'll be lots of fun. It's been a while since I've put out some super new content. I've been putting out some stuff that I had in the back burners for a while because I prepared myself. And yeah, it's about time for some fresh, new, spanking content. And I'm really excited for that. So subscribe now so you don't miss it at onlyfans.com/JessiTheBuckeye. Obviously, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to get notified when we go live. Obviously, right now with a tropical storm, a sick baby, it's been hard for us to go live on our typical schedule. Hence why we're doing this today. But yeah, if you're subscribed, you got notified and you knew about it, or you followed us on Twitter and you knew there too. But do subscribe, hit that bell, that notification bell, so you get notified of any new live videos. That really helps. And if you want pizza, if pizza sounds really good to you and you've got a Papa John's nearby, go ahead and use my discount code Jessi25, JESSI25, no spaces, all one word, for 25% off your entire Papa John's pizza order. It's a great deal. Use it. You get it till December 1st. So yeah, yes, gonna work it, girl. Yeah. So
yes. Yeah, use that code. I use it all the time. Jessi25. Great code, 25% off at Papa John's. And if you want to follow me, check it out. FightTalk _ FIGHT TALK _. If you click this little link tree button here, it'll take you to everything I got going on. So there you go. And without sitting here and plugging all the stuff, Fightful got a lot of stuff going on with them this weekend. We have the Fightful Select Weekender podcast will go up on Sunday. I'll be doing Ring of Honor Best in the World predictions and recapping a ton of independent wrestling, as well as giving predictions for Slammiversary, since that's the following week. And then tonight on all Fightful platforms, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I think everywhere that you can see video, myself, Jeremy Lambert, and possibly Sean Ross Sapp. Still don't know if he's joining with us or not, but it'll be me and Jeremy for sure, at least. We'll be on there tonight for the watch along for UFC 264. We're going live right before the co-main event, right before Gilbert Burns versus Wonderboy Thompson. And of course, we'll be there for the main event of Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor 3. please join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We just hang out, watch the fights. We kind of sync it up so you know when we are we can't show the fights for obvious reasons, but we sit there, we let you know where the timer's at on our screens. So you kind of get, it's almost like a fight companion. You get kind of some alternate commentary. It's a lot of fun. We hang out and watch the fights. So that'll be tonight on all the Fightful platforms. So everything else I have going on, whether it be on YouTube right here with Jessi Davin or with RVD Tito for Life with my buddy Doug, all that stuff will be updated on my Twitter, once again, at @FightTalk_. So that'll do it. Anything else before we sign off, Jessi?
No, I just hope everyone has a good, safe, fun weekend. And oh my God, rest of the week, and hope everyone stays safe and is nice to people and has fun. Yeah.
Yes. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. We'll be back sometime next week to talk about everything else that goes on in the world of professional wrestling. So until next time, I've been Steven. That's Jessi. We'll see you next week.